Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskrutyam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam ato jaya mudiraye nastaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Today we are reading from Srimad Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are not doing from Srimad Bhagavatam today, as the glorification of Virabhadra Goswami. So, chapter 11, text number 8. If you have smart devices, you can open that, or you can look at the board. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Sri Virabhadra Goswami Skanda Mahashaka Tandra Upashaka Yata Asankhyathara Leka. Sri Virabhadra Goswami Skanda Mahashaka Tandra Upashaka Yata Asankhyathara Leka. Sri Virabhadra Goswami Skanda Mahashaka Tandra Upasaka Yata Asankhyathara Leka. Anybody would like to try?
Sri Virabhadra Goswami Skanda Mahashaka.
Sri Virabhadra Goswami Skanda Mahashaka Tara Upasaka Yata Asankhyathara Leka. Anybody else? Sri Virabhadra Goswami Skanda Mahashaka Tandra Upasaka Yata Asankhyathara Leka. Anybody else? It's easy. Alright, we will read word to word meaning. Sri Virabhadra Goswami.
Sri Virabhadra Goswami.
Sri Virabhadra Goswami.
Sri Virabhadra Goswami.
Skanda
Skanda
of the trunk.
of the trunk.
Mahashaka,
Mahashaka,
the biggest branch.
the biggest branch.
Tandra,
Tandra,
his
his
Upashaka,
Upashaka,
sub branches.
branches.
Yata,
Yata,
all.
all.
Sankhya,
Sankhya,
innumerable.
innumerable.
Tara,
Tara,
of that.
of that.
Lekha,
Lekha,
the description.
the description.
Translation. After Nityananda Prabhu, the greatest branch is Virabhadra Goswami, who also has innumerable branches and sub-branches. It is not possible to describe them all. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, Virabhadra Goswami was the direct son of Srila Nityananda Prabhu and a disciple of Janava Devi. His real mother was Vasudha. In the Gaura Ganodesha Deepika 67, he is mentioned as an incarnation of Kshirodakshai Vishnu. Therefore, Virabhadra Goswami is not different from Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In a village of the name Jamatpura in the district of Hugli, Virabhadra Goswami had a disciple named Yadunandana Acharya, who had two daughters, the real daughter named Srimati and a foster daughter named Narayani. Both these daughters married and they are mentioned in the Bhakti Ratnakara, the 13th wave. Virabhadra Goswami had three disciples who are celebrated as his sons, Gopijana Vallabha, Ramakrishna and Ramachandra. The youngest Ramachandra belonged to the Sandilya dynasty and had a surname Vatavyala. He established his family at Kandadaha and its members are known as Goswamis of Kadadaha. The eldest disciple, Gopijana Vallabha, was a resident of a village known as Lata near Manakara railway station in the district of Vrindaban. The second, Ramakrishna, lived near Maladaha in a village named Gesapura. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur notes that since these three disciples belonged to different gotras or dynasties and also had different surnames and lived in different places, it is not possible to accept them as real sons of Virabhadra Goswami. Ramachandra had four sons, of whom the eldest was Radha Madhava, whose third son was named as Yadavendra. Yadavendra's son was Nanda Kishora, his son was Nidhi Krishna, his son was Chaitanya Chada, his son was Krishna Mohana, and his son was Jagan Mohana, his son was Vrajanatha, and his son was Shyamala Goswami. This is the genealogical table given by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur for the descendant of Virabhadra Goswami. So we will read the translation once again. So please repeat after me. After Nityananda Prabhu, the greatest branch is Virabhadra Goswami, who also has innumerable branches and sub-branches. It is not possible to describe them all. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatantvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namavom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Nama He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Yevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I welcome you all to Saturday Bhagavatam class. Today we are discussing on Virabhadra Goswami. How many of you know about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Those who are sitting here as a guests, is coming for maybe first time or second time. Do you all know about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Any idea? Okay. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as per the scriptures, says that Lord Krishna is appeared as a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to spread this message. And Krishna appeared in Vrindavan 5000 years back to perform pastimes along with Srimati Radharani and gopis. After Krishna is performing these pastimes, and when he went back to the spiritual world, there are not many people who are taking advantage of Krishna's pastimes, and people are not really taking up the devotional service. So Krishna again appeared back around 500 years back in West Bengal in the name of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is again acted as his devotee. Even though it is Krishna himself, but he acted as his devotee to spread this message to everyone so that the people can take advantage of Krishna's pastimes. This is the external reason, but we are not going much deep into subject matter. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna appeared as a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he acted as his own devotee. And he started spreading this message of chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and then describing about the pastimes of Krishna. So along with him appeared 4 of his associates. That's where we sing Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadara, Srivasadi Gaura. So these are the remaining 4 associates. With all of them he appeared and then he started spreading. It says that these Panchatattva, these 5 people, they break open the seal of a can which is filled with the love of Godhead. And they started distributing this to everyone, each and everyone indiscriminately, without looking at their qualification or caste or creed. Otherwise, previously, only those who are Brahmanas, they are supposed to do the devotional service. Others were not really allowed in doing the devotional service. So that's where the Krishna, he comes in the form of a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then he starts spreading and then giving this message to everyone, irrespective of their caste and their creed and whatever may be their position in the society. And that's how Sri Krishna, he appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, started giving this message. That's where the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I mean, it goes much deep into the subject matter. Like, it's a long, I'll try to cut it short. Normally we see whenever Krishna appears in the form, in any form, like Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, as Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir-bhavati bharata abhyudhanam adharmasya tadatmanam smrijamyaham. So wherever there is a decline in the religion, Krishna, he appears. And what he does when he comes? Then he does the next verse, he says, that is Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha dushkrutam dharma samsthapanardaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Whenever he comes, then he try to vinasaya cha dushkrutam, those who are miscreants, those who do not follow laws of God, and he kills them. Either he kills directly or he utilizes his associates to kill them. Like the Pandavas, he utilized them in fighting the Kurukshetra war, where he killed all of those people, those who are supporting Duryodhana. So he tried to kill them like that. So like this we can see in Rama avatar he killed Ravana and then Rakshasas, Kumbhakarna, and then as a Varaha avatar he killed Hiranyaksha, and then in the Narasimha Bhagavan avatar he killed Hiranyakashipu. So like this, whenever he comes, he does only one business, that is the killing of not everybody, but those who are Dushkrutas. But then in the Kali Yuga, if has to come, and then if he has to kill, then he has to kill everyone. Because if you go to see, I'm a little bit sideways. If you go to see in Satya Yuga, the demons that appeared, they are in a different planet, and Lord is in a different planet. And Lord has to come to their planet and then kill them. When it comes to Treta Yuga, where Lord and then demons both are in the same planet, that is on planet Earth, but they are in a different continents. Like Lord Ram is in Bharatvarsha, and then where we can see Ravana is in Lanka. Then Lord has to go to that continent and then kill him. But when it comes to the Dwapara Yuga, both Lord, devotee and the demons are all on the same planet and the same continent. And then even demons also become like a normal human beings. Previously Ravana can be seen, Kumbhakarna can be, immediately looking at them one can understand that, oh, so this is the demon. But then when it comes to Dwapara Yuga, demon also evolved very nicely and they become like a human beings. You don't find any difference. The Duryodhana, Shishupal, all these people, you can find them just like a human beings. But then Lord knows who is the demon, who is the devotee, and then he utilized his associates as well as himself. He killed like Jarasandha, Shishupal, and Duryodhana and all, he utilized his associates like Pandavas. But then when it comes to Kali Yuga, the demon and the devotee both are in the same human being. If Lord has to kill, then he has to kill everyone. That's where Nityananda Prabhu, he says, this is both actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. This is nothing but Krishna and Balaram, which we can see on the left side of altar. Two personalities standing, lifting their hands up, and they are called as the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. So they are nothing but Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram. He appeared in Kali Yuga around 500 years back in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, Krishna and Balaram. So when Nityananda Prabhu was preaching to two personalities, they are known as Jagai and Madai. So that time something happens. So Jagai, he hits Nityananda Prabhu, and that time Nityananda Prabhu, he gets bleeding. So blood is oozing from his forehead. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gets very angry, and since he is Krishna himself, immediately he calls Chakra, Chakra, and then he wanted to release Sudarshan Chakra to kill this person known as a Jagai. Why? Because he hurt Nityananda Prabhu. So that time Nityananda Prabhu, he tells, that is Balaram, he tells Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is Krishna, if at all you have to kill in Kali Yuga, you have to kill everyone. You cannot kill only this Jagai, because everybody is having this propensity of committing sinful actions, just like demons. So Nityananda Prabhu, he tells him, you came for the purpose of preaching this message, not to kill the people. So that's the reason Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, that is Krishna and Balaram, appears in Kali Yuga in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, not to kill people, but to kill the demoniac propensity in the people, which is in the form of congregational chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So that is the process which is coming from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is not that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inaugurated this movement, it was coming before also, but then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is born in that movement and he started giving more push, and since he is being Krishna himself, he can change people's heart just like that. So that's why then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he started propagating this message, and then along with his associates, and then his disciples, and then his disciples. In that disciplic succession comes Srila Prabhupada, who came to United States in the Western world, and then he started preaching this message. So today we are discussing about one of the personality who is also who is very prominent. His name is Virabhadra Goswami. Virabhadra Goswami is again, as we said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, who were nothing but Krishna and Balaram. He is the son of Balaram, son of Nityananda Prabhu, Virabhadra Goswami. So that he appeared in this world, and then he started propagating this message. So we are going to discuss about him today. So it is not boring, it will be very nice, it will be entertaining, especially for new people, because you may feel that, what is this talking about some guy, Virabhadra Goswami. We never heard of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu itself, and he is talking about Virabhadra, what is this? And you may think, but it is very wonderful pastimes actually. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he appeared and then he married one lady, and then she got, by the providence, she left her body, and then he married next one, and then when he married Vishnu Priya, and then it happened that as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, since he is a Grihastha, even though he is Krishna, it is so difficult for us to, even if Krishna appears in front of us, it is so difficult for us to recognize that is Krishna. Even Krishna in his original form is there in front of Duryodhana, and he is showing his universal form, Krishna. What did Duryodhana think? He thought, this is a Mayavi. He is a magician. He is a magician. He hypnotized all of us as if he is showing his bigger form. But actually speaking, he is a magician. This is what Duryodhana thought. So what to speak of us, even though Krishna is personally present with Duryodhana, he could not recognize. In the same way, even when Krishna is there in the form of a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but the residents, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in a place called Mayapur. The residents of those places, some of them could not recognize him as Krishna, even though they are not recognize him. But as he is propagating this message of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they started abusing him, and they started blaspheming Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then when they are blaspheming Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, could understand that what are the reactions they are going to get. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he do not want them to get the reactions, and he decided to take sannyas. Because in Bharatvarsha, even as on today, for sannyasi, there is a greater respect is given than grihastha. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided to take sannyas. When he took sannyas, of course, sannyas means nobody gives a permission as such, including mother and wife. He is already married. Good thing is he was not having children, but good thing or bad thing, whatever it is. But then when he married, his mother also did not give permission, as well as his wife also. But still he went ahead because he is a Swarat. He went ahead and then he took sannyas. But then by the arrangement of Advaita Acharya, he happened to meet his mother again at Shantipur, and there she requested, and that time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he tells actually, my body is your property. So by, actually at other places also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he talks about this thing to Srivas Thakur. He says, I was a mad, I was a crazy when I took the decision to become a sannyasi. I did not pay attention to my mother's words. I committed an offense towards her. So he asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my dear mother, I have taken sannyas, but still, if you think that I should not take sannyas, I will renounce this sannyas order and I will become Grihastha again. But then Mother Sachi, the mother of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, she understands the situation and she tells him no. But instead of you going to Vrindaban, please stay in Jagannath Puri. So that's where the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after that he goes to Jagannath Puri and then he stays in Jagannath Puri. And he stays there for the rest of his entire lifetime. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, actually Krishna, he appeared in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to propagate this message. But what he is doing right now, he is sitting in Jagannath Puri. He is unable to preach. He is not preaching. He is sitting there. Those who are coming to him, only to them he is preaching. So this is a worry for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is thinking, what is this? I am sitting here, because even though he started this movement in Mayapur and he could not, he went to many places in Bengal, West Bengal and East Bengal, but he could not propagate as a sannyasi being in Jagannath Puri. So that time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he tells Nityananda Prabhu, that is a Balaram, to go back to Bengal and start preaching this message in Bengal. So there, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he tells Nityananda Prabhu to go to Bengal and then preach this message. So that's where he says, Nityananda Agnya Dila Yaha Gauda Desha Anargala Prema Bhakti Kariha Prakasha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he tells Nityananda Prabhu, he orders Nityananda Prabhu, go to Nityananda Agnya Dila Yaha Gauda Desha. Go to Gauda Desha. Gauda Desha is nothing but Bengal, he says. And he says, Anargala Prema Bhakti Kahira Prakash. Anargala, without any interruption. Anargala. Prema Bhakti Kariha Prakash. Prema Bhakti. This is a devotional service. Give to everyone. Devotional service to Krishna is give it to everyone. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he orders Nityananda Prabhu. When Nityananda Prabhu, he ready to go, actually before that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he calls Nityananda Prabhu in his room and then discuss with Nityananda Prabhu for some time. All the devotees, they were thinking, what is the discussion happening between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, what they are discussing. So that time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he tells Nityananda Prabhu, this description comes in Nityananda Charitamrita, who is the author is Vrindavan Das Thakur, who is the disciple of Nityananda Prabhu. He writes, he says that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling Nityananda Prabhu, what he is saying? Tumi avo Gauda Desha Karaha Samsara. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu telling Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu was Avadhuta. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a sannyasi. Nityananda Prabhu is Avadhuta. Avadhuta, in a sense, they do not have any proper rules and regulations as such. They are actually immersed in God love so much, they are not really following any rules and regulations. There are no restrictions for them. So to Nityananda Prabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling, Tumi yavo Gauda Desha. You go to Bengal, Gauda Desha. And then what he is saying? Karaha Samsara. But do samsara. That is, get married. And he is telling further, Tabeye Saba Lokera Haiba Nishtara. He is saying, and then you Uddhara, everybody, lokera, sabha lokera haibe nishtara. When you do that, then everybody will be delivered from these clutches of birth, death and old age. And then further he says, Punaha asiba ami tumara mandire. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling to Nityananda Prabhu, Punara ahibe, I am going to come again to your mandire, to your home. How? Tumara gruha habi amara avatare. He's saying, in your house I am going to take birth again. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna is telling Nityananda Prabhu, Balaram is saying, I am going to come again, take birth at your home. And then further Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he tells Nityananda Prabhu, Bhakti bailiya puna asiba samsara gupu avatara sastre nehata prachara. So then I will spread this message, Bhakti baila punaha asiba samsara. Then I am going to spread this message everywhere. And then what further he says, this is my avatar again, which is not mentioned in any scriptures as such. Gupu avatara, this is a Gupta avatar. Nobody knows about this, not even the scriptures. Gupta avatara, Shastra nahite prachara, as nowhere is mentioned in the Shastras. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he tells Nityananda Prabhu, Achintya amara sakti keha nahi jane. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, my Shakti, there is Amara Shakti, is Achintya. It cannot be understood by anybody as such. Because Krishna, nobody can understand Krishna. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Sei se janiya tumi jana sei khane. But when you give your mercy, tumi jana, janiya. When you give your mercy, then they can understand me very well. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling to Nityananda Prabhu that he is going to appear again in his home when Nityananda Prabhu is getting married. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears again in the form of Virabhadra Goswami. So even actually in this Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he talks about Virabhadra Goswami, Ishvara haiha kahaya mahabhagavata veda dharmitita hana veda dharmarata. He says, although Virabhadra Goswami, Ishvara haiya kahaya mahabhagavata, he is Krishna himself. He is the Kshirodaksha Vishnu. That's what Prabhupada writes in the Gaura Ganodesha Deepika in the 67. It mentions that Kshirodaksha Vishnu, he appeared again as Virabhadra Goswami. So all the Virabhadra Goswami is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he presented himself as a great devotee. And although the Supreme Godhead is transcendental to all Vedic injunctions, he strictly followed the Vedic rituals. So Virabhadra Goswami is like that. And then further actually he says, talks about Antare Ishvara Chesta Bahire Nirdamba Chaitanya Bhakti Mandape Teno Mula Stamba. So Antara Ishvara, inside he knows that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Antara Ishvara Chesta Bahire Nirdamba, but he never showed to anyone as such that he is the Supreme Lord, that is Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then he says, Chaitanya Bhakti Mandape Tena Mula Stamba. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he established this devotional service as a Bhakti Mandapa. When we go to Jagannath Puri, there is in the temple, there is one mandapa, is known as Mukti Mandapa. They constructed one mandapa called as a Mukti Mandapa, where many Brahmanas sit in this mandapa. And people can go and then ask questions. As the people ask the questions, they reply to these questions and they guide them. That way they get to Mukti. But then it's more of an impersonal understanding. That's where what Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when he was in charge for Jagannath Puri temple, what he did? He established another mandap, is known as a Bhakti Mandap, where he used to sit and read Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to do that. So like this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he constructed this mandapa, and he says here, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Chaitanya Charitamrita, for this mandapa, Chaitanya Bhakti Mandapa Teno Moola Stamba. He is the main pillar for the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Bhakti Mandapa. So that is the glory of Virabhadra Goswami. And then further he says, Adyapi Anhara Krupa Mahi Mahayite Chaitanya Nityananda Gaya Sakala Jagate. So it is by the glorious mercy of Sri Virabhadra Goswami, that people all over the world, that means we are all now, have the chance to chant the names of Chaitanya Nityananda. So from that we can understand how important Virabhadra Goswami is actually. And then further he writes, Sei Virabhadra Gosanira Layinu Sarana Yanhara Prasadehaya Abhishta Purana. So therefore I take shelter of Virabhadra Goswami, the lotus feet of Virabhadra Goswami, so that his mercy, my great desire to write Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita will be properly guided. So every day morning actually we worship Tulsi Maharani. Today as Mataji is there for Tulsi, when we have Tulsi Puja, in that we pray to Tulsi Maharani. Yeyi mera, yeyi mora abhilasha. There is only one abhilasha for me, that is to get the service of Sri Radha and Krishna. So that's where he is saying here, Abhishta Purana, if at all we have to fulfill our desire, and one should take shelter of Virabhadra Goswami. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he ordered Nityananda Prabhu to go to Bengal, Nityananda Prabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave some of his other associates also. He sent with the Nityananda Prabhu. So Nityananda Prabhu was going with Ramadas and then Gadadhar Das. Ramadas is also known as Abhiram Thakur. Abhiram Thakur is one of the Gwala, one of the cowherd boy who is a Sakha of Krishna. He is having 12 Sakhas, out of which one Sakha is the Sri Dhama, that is Abhiram Thakur. In Chaitanya Leela, so Krishna, whenever he comes along with his associates, all of them. Many of them they appeared. So in the Chaitanya Leela also many of them appeared. So when he was going with them, then he went to the place called Ambika Kalna. In Ambika Kalna, then he went to the house known as Suryadasa Sukela. See, Suryadasa Sukela is actually one of the influential person in that area. He is very, very close associate of that king in that area. That's where he got the name as Sukela. So, Sekela, Sukela, something like that. I hope. I am not murdering this Bengali language. So, when this Nityananda Prabhu goes to him, this Surya Das is having two daughters. One's name is Jhanavi and other one is Vasudha. And then he directly goes to his house and then he tells Surya Das, I want to marry your daughter, Jhanavi. But first he didn't agree, but later on finally he agrees. Again, it's a long story. Long pastime. We try to cut it short. And then he marries Janava Mata. And when the marriages happened, and then Nityananda Prabhu and his associates, when they were sitting and honoring Prasadam, Jhanavi Mata's sister is Vasudha. She is serving all of them. When she is serving, normally when ladies they serve, they have this pallu, that is the sari, on top of their head, and she is serving. On one hand there is a vessel, and that is utensil, on one hand there is a spoon. She is serving. And when her pallu fall down, then what she did? She created another two arms, manifested another two arms, and then she adjusted her pallu with these two arms, and then with the two arms she was serving. Nityananda Prabhu saw that, and then he asked Suryadas, I want to marry your second daughter also. So that's how he married both of them. And Nityananda Prabhu is Avadhuta, he do not have any place to stay as such. So even though he married, but he do not have any place to stay. So he is going here and there Panihatti, and then he is roaming all over Bengal in preaching this message. But then finally he stayed in a place called as Kardaha, or they called as Kadadaha. So he stayed there, and then he settled there at Kardaha with the family. And Nityananda Prabhu got a first son through Vasudha. So that time, one of his associates, this is Abhiram Thakur, he appears there and he tells, Nityananda Prabhu saw him, very lovingly invited him, and then he said, for a long time I didn't get to see you. How is that you happen to come here? He said, I heard you have a son, so I wanted to come and then see your son and pay my obeisances to your son. This Abhiram Thakur is a very, very powerful personality. He is such a powerful personality. If we pay obeisances to any stone which is worshipped as a god, if that is not actually worshipped properly and that is not God itself, the stone breaks into pieces. So that is the power of this Abhiram Thakur. So whenever he pays obeisances to somebody who is not pure in devotional service, there is a problem. So Nityananda Prabhu is worried when he is come and then he wanted to pay obeisances. He wanted to pay his pranams to Nityananda Prabhu's son. So anyhow, Nityananda Prabhu invited him, and then when he came and he paid obeisances, and the Nityananda Prabhu's son, he left his body because for some reason this happened first time and this happened the second time. Nityananda Prabhu got a daughter. He says that as per the Gaura Ganodesha Deepika, Nityananda Prabhu's second daughter, she is Mother Ganga herself, she appeared. And then third son appeared. That is when that time Abhiram Thakur, he was not invited by Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu invited many Vaishnavas to celebrate the birth of his son, but Abhiram Thakur was not invited because Nityananda Prabhu, again Balaram himself, but in his Manushya Leela, he is worried if Abhiram Thakur comes and then pays obeisances, the son is also going to die. But Abhiram Thakur came to know that Nityananda Prabhu is celebrating the birth of his son. Abhiram Thakur did not go, but his wife, she said, you are a cowherd boy. You do not have any prestige or any, you are so humble. You can go and visit. You need not to have any invitation to visit Nityananda Prabhu's place. Then Abhiram Thakur said, okay, I will go. So Abhiram Thakur, he started coming towards this place, Nityananda Prabhu's place, Kardaha. Nityananda Prabhu understand that Abhiram Thakur may come. So Nityananda Prabhu, he instructed all the boatmen, those who are there on the banks of Mother Ganga, because Abhiram Thakur has to cross Mother Ganga and then enter into Kardaha. He instructed all the boatmen that not to bring Abhiram Thakur to his place. So then Abhiram Thakur, he came to the place and then he said, boatman, I want to go to the other side of the bank, other side of the Mother Ganga. Can you please take me? Then they asked him, what is your name? So then Abhiram Thakur said, I came many times, nobody asked my name. Why you are asking me my name? So then the boatman, he said, it is instruction given by Nityananda Prabhu. We should not take one person. His name is Abhiram Thakur. We should not take him to the other side. Oh, Abhiram Thakur said, oh, is it? My name is Abhiram Thakur. And boatman immediately jumped into the boat and then put water into the boat. He said, see, boat is sinking. I cannot take you now. So then he approached another boatsman. That boatman also did the same thing. So like this, all the boatmen, they sink their boats and they said that we cannot take you. Then Abhiram Thakur, he is a cowherd man. He is from Krishna Leela. He took his uttari and then he spread this uttari on the Mother Ganga, on the water, and he sat on that uttari and he started crossing the Mother Ganga from one side to the other side. And the other side, by the time Nityananda Prabhu came to know that Abhiram Thakur is coming, Nityananda Prabhu, in his Manushya Leela, Balaram, he don't know what to do. Then immediately he assembled all the Vaishnavas and they started chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, doing the Kirtan. and they started coming towards the Mother Ganga, and they came. Abhiram Thakur, he was thinking, what is this? This is the first time I'm seeing people are coming to inviting me with the congregational chanting. So anyhow, Nityananda Prabhu, he met Nityananda Prabhu, he said, oh, what is this? All these, so many devotees are here, and they are all coming to see me. Nityananda Prabhu said, we came to know that you are coming here, so we invited you. So we came to invite you. So they took him to Nityananda Prabhu's house, and they were all the Vaishnavas. Abhiram Thakur was paying obeisances to the Vaishnavas. And then Abhiram Thakur, he told Nityananda Prabhu, you are organizing such a big festival, isn't it? You are not arranged for any prasadam. I am feeling so hungry. Please get me prasadam. So Nityananda Prabhu told Jahnavi Mata and Vasudha, please bring prasadam. So Abhiram Thakur, he started eating, honoring prasadam. He finished everything, whatever they cook for so many people. Then Vasudha and Jahnavi Mata, they were wondered, they don't know what to do. Now there are so many other Vaishnavas are present. They also should eat. Then what to do? So that time, Abhiram Thakur, he looked at them and he said, don't know that I take whatever I take, I give double than what I take. Then he told Nityananda Prabhu, just go inside your home and then see. Then Nityananda Prabhu went and saw that inside there is so much of prasadam, double and triple of prasadam, whatever they cooked. So anyhow, all these things happened. Then suddenly Abhiram Thakur, then he actually came to the point. The reason I came here is to see your son, my dear Nityananda, and I want to pay obeisances to him. And Nityananda Prabhu, Jahnavi Mata, and actually Jahnavi Mata and Vasudha were crying, and they don't want to bring their son out, because again, if he pays obeisances, he is going to die. But then, as Abhiram Thakur wanted to see, so there is no other way, they had to bring the son out. And they brought the son out. As the son is coming out, when they are bringing them, this is a toddler, and he started smiling, looking at Abhiram Thakur, looking at all the Vaishnavas. Abhiram Thakur paid obeisances to this son. Nothing happened. He is still smiling. Abhiram Thakur surprised, and again he paid obeisances. Still he is smiling, and again he paid obeisances. Some versions it says that the baby, he kicked Abhiram Thakur with his small lotus foot. And Abhiram Thakur went far away with that one kick. And Abhiram Thakur understood that, yes, this is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared again in the house of Nityananda Prabhu. So he says, I actually wanted to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's the reason I am coming again and again to your home. I wanted to see how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is appeared. So that time Abhiram Thakur, he says, those who are not seen Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they can see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Virabhadra. So that is the Virabhadra. He exactly looks like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he acts like a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he preaches like a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he changes hearts of people like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's how the Virabhadra Goswami, then Abhiram Thakur started chanting and then dancing, and then it says that even Virabhadra Goswami, even he's a toddler, he started dancing, getting down, and then he started walking and then dancing in that kirtan. That's how the Virabhadra Goswami is become as one of the wonderful Vaishnava in the association of Abhiram Thakur and all the Vaishnavas. And there is much to talk about Virabhadra Goswami. We just touched upon the tip of the iceberg, that is his birth. Then Virabhadra Goswami actually, he took initiation for from his elder mother, that is Jahnavi Mata. And then Virabhadra Goswami started spreading this message in Bengal and many places. He changed the hearts of Bauddha sannyasis. So that time, the Bauddhas are more in West Bengal, but he changed all of them and he made them to the Vaishnavas, and they became his disciples of Virabhadra Goswami. So I'll stop here. It's almost 9 o'clock. Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, thank you for the class. Yeah, I didn't follow when you were explaining the power of Abhiram.
Abhiram.
You know, like if you don't pay your obeisances properly, then the stone
No.
will shatter? What was that?
If he pays obeisances to any stone, like let's come, he comes here and then he pays obeisances to Radha, Vrindavan, Chandra. For example, I'm saying. So whenever he pays obeisances, if the deity is not worshipped properly, and if the deity do not have, that is, Krishna himself is not present in the deity, then that stone will break into the pieces. So that is the power of Abhiram Thakur. So why he was doing this? At that time in Bengal, it is become a custom, like it is becoming a kind of earning thing for many people. They bring some stone and then saying that this stone is of so and so God, so they start worshipping that stone. So if the God is not really present in that stone, so whenever he pay obeisances to that stone, and that stone break apart into the pieces. So other than that, he is having a whip. With that whip, if he touches anyone, they need not to perform whatever we are doing, this sadhana bhakti. Immediately they will become wonderful Krishna bhaktas, and they become fully Krishna bhakta. So that is the power of Abhiram Thakur.
Okay, and then also the first child of Nityananda, he died immediately because
he is not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is not. If somebody is not fully God conscious, and when Abhiram Thakur comes and then pays obeisances, there is a problem. Actually, there is another pastime also comes, where Raghunandan Thakur. When Raghunandan Thakur, he is the son of Murari Gupta. When Raghunandan Thakur, when he appears, when once Murari, he goes to the king, and then he tells that his son to give offering to Krishna, Gopinath. So then Raghunandan, he goes and then gives offering to Krishna. But he is a small boy that time, Raghunandan. So when his father tells him to go this offering, mummy made laddus, give this offering to Krishna. As a child, he thought that offering means literally Lord has to come and then honor this. So he is requesting Krishna to come, but Krishna is not coming. He started crying. Then looking at this boy's devotion, Krishna appears and then he eats. So then father gets doubt, mother also gets doubt. This boy sitting there at home in the puja room and then eating everything and telling that Krishna has eaten. So then his father is start watching at him, looking at him from the window and then see what this boy is doing. But then to his surprise, really Krishna appears from the deity and then he starts eating these laddus. And then he understands that his son is really the great devotee of Krishna. When Abhiram Thakur comes to know that Raghunandan is such a wonderful devotee, he wants to come and meet Raghunandan. When Abhiram Thakur, he wants to come, and his father and mother, they are so scared, because even if there is a little bit tinge of material desires, whenever he pays obeisances, then that person is going to die. Yes. So they are worried. So they try to hide him here and there. 2-3 times it happens. They sent him to his grandmother's place, father's grandmother or mother's place, like that they sent him. But third time, he comes without saying anything. So that's how he could able to meet Raghunandan Thakur. And then he pays obeisances to Raghunandan Thakur, but nothing happens to Raghunandan Thakur. So then they both dance, and there is a big pastime in Srikanda. It's a beautiful pastime.
Did you say that Raghunandan is the son of Murari Gupta?
Murari, I think so.
Okay, just one last thing is when Nityananda was inviting everybody because the second son was born, and he did not
invite Abhiram Thakur, yes.
But then once, oh my God, just turn off.
That's fine.
In class. See you later. When Abhiram does come, at that time, even though he had not invited him, but when he finally did come, it seemed like he brought everybody to welcome him.
Yes.
So how come this switch?
Switch then, when a great Vaishnava is coming to home, then we have to invite him. There are no choice. So that's why then he brings all the Vaishnavas. At least there will be, since there are many Vaishnavas will be present, Abhiram Thakur, his mind will change. He may not really insist on looking at his son. So that's the reason Nityananda Prabhu, he brings many Vaishnavas, and as Abhiram Thakur meeting all the Vaishnavas and then discussing, talking to them, paying obeisances to them, his mind may be deviated from actual topic or actual thing what for he came from. So that's the reason Nityananda Prabhu.
Distracted by so many
Yes, yes.
This son, you know, you said that he propagated this, but I'm wondering what distinguished him from so many other, you know, what was his distinguishing quality that made him so glorious? Or was that it?
So in a way, if you go to see, actually, whenever whenever Krishna appears, whenever his message is given, Krishna, he always try to keep some backup. That means, even after leaves the place, even after he winds up his pastimes, there is somebody again to continue this process. So that way, even though Nityananda Prabhu is there, he is preaching in Bengal, but still Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he invited two souls especially, or three souls, that is Narottam Das Thakur and Srinivas Acharya, so that they can spread this message more and wide in Bengal as well as in Orissa also. Orissa is again Shyamananda Prabhu. That's where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually personally invited Narottam Das Thakur and then Srinivas Acharya, these two. So even then, they are also there, but still, he want to again come back as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he want to come back and he want to spread this message because he is non-different than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the way he actually spread this message, even when comparing with Narottam Das Thakur and Srinivas Acharya, is glorious. Unfortunately, we lost the literature which is given a wonderful description about Virabhadra Goswami. We don't have that literature, otherwise we could have been well informed about Virabhadra Goswami for us, for all of us. Now whatever I spoke is something is from Abhiram Thakur Vilas, that is one of his disciple wrote, Abhiram Thakur's disciple, and from Sri Nityananda Charitamrita, that's where we see some of the glimpses of Virabhadra Goswami. But otherwise his actual work, whatever he has done so much, like as he's saying, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, that because of Virabhadra Goswami, all over the world they are taking the names of Nityananda Prabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is because of Virabhadra Goswami. So that from that we can understand that, because even when Virabhadra Goswami is coming to Vrindavan, that time even Jiva Goswami and Anantacharya, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, they are all stood on the way, that is on the road, and waiting for Virabhadra to come, and they greeted Virabhadra standing on the road. Like if you see, normally we get to see when President Trump or Joe Biden is coming, then people are standing on the side of the way road and then greeting him, hey, like with all these flags and all. So like that, they were all waiting for Virabhadra Goswami to come to Vrindavan and to see him. So that's where he had a personal association with Virabhadra Goswami. That's where he is writing about Virabhadra Goswami, about his glories. That is because of him, all over the world, we are all able to take the names of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu. So that is the glory of Virabhadra Goswami. And then why he is distinct? Yes, he is Kshirodaksha Vishnu himself. And the way he propagated this message is wonderful. So only thing is we could not get to have that information because we lost those scriptures.
And Abhiram Prabhu, he is actually Krishna's brother, right?
Sridhama, yeah. Radharani's brother.
You said that it was because of Virabhadra's association with whom that we get to know about his pastime?
Virabhadra's association.
With, you mentioned...
Virabhadra associated with many of them, like Narottam Das Thakur also, even with Srinivas Acharya also. When Narottam Thakur is performed the first Gaura Purnima festival in Keturi, Virabhadra Goswami was there that time actually. He was there with Jahnavi Mata. And Virabhadra Goswami actually that time, Narottam Das Thakur asked him to give a lecture Virabhadra Goswami gives a lecture. That time the Brahmanas, they come and then they object. What is this Narottam? He is the Kayastha, that is, he is the Shudra. How can he give initiation to the Brahmanas? He cannot give initiation. So that time Virabhadra Goswami, he says actually, for a Vaishnava, he is more than a Brahmana. For Brahmana, we have a thread, but Vaishnava is having a thread in his heart himself, in his heart or her heart. Thread, Brahmana thread already is there. So that time the Brahmanas, they say, then let us see from Narottam Das Thakur whether he is having a thread. We want to see, because you saying that Vaishnavas are having a thread within the heart. So then Narottam Das Thakur, just like a Hanuman, how he opens his chest and shows Lord Ram, Narottam Das Thakur, he opens his heart and then take out the golden thread which is there within his heart, that show to the Brahmanas. So that time Virabhadra Goswami and Srinivasa Acharya, they are holding with each other, they dance in ecstasy. So that is Virabhadra Goswami. So he is a powerful personality. Yes. Thank you, Mother. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Any other question? I don't think so. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Grandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Grandharaj Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai.
Prabhu ki.